a Republican from New York. Representative, thank you so much for being with us. It's 9:22 a.m. on Thursday morning. Does Mike Johnson have the votes right now to be the next Speaker of the House?
I don't know if he has the votes right now, but I do believe that he will have the votes. And I'm not sure that it will be on the first round, but I do think by tomorrow we will have a speaker, and that speaker will be Mike Johnson. I know that he's been working the phones. I spoke with him last Friday. We had a very good conversation. He's willing to take our suggestions and ideas and try to incorporate them into running the House better and making sure that this is a member-driven process, that we're not seeing deals being made and then coming to the conference expecting a rubber stamp. I think also making sure that he helps us score legislative wins throughout the year for our constituents is also something that he's heard and is willing to implement some changes there, so it's more member-driven. I believe he will have the votes tomorrow by the end of the day.
And you're a definite yes?
I am voting yes. Yes, I don't see a value in a fight for the speakership at this time. I mean, we saw what happened 2 years ago, and it was an embarrassment for our party and for the institution, I believe. I don't agree with everything that Mike Johnson has done, but I think that he is the best person to move us forward united. And I think he's the only one, quite frankly, that could probably get to the 218, which is needed for the gavel. And I do agree with him that the dynamics have shifted. He had no choice but to negotiate with Democrats when it came to the debt limit, when it came to a continuing resolution to keep our government funded and running. Now we hope that he'll work within our conference, and let's negotiate within our own membership first before we turn over to the Democrats for votes. But I do still think it's going to need to be a bipartisan Congress. If you look at the Senate, they have 53 votes. You still need 7 Democrats to pass most pieces of legislation outside of reconciliation. And so the members who are holdouts, they're not being reasonable when they think that we can govern without some type of negotiation, without some type of bipartisanship. And that's part of the problem. They want everything. They want all or nothing, and they're willing to risk our majority and the Congress over it. And I think that's the wrong approach. Every relationship, every government, every business requires some type of negotiation, and that's where they need to be reasonable.
And to be clear, you're talking about members of your own party, your own caucus in the House, correct?
That's right. I think that there's members in my own party, unfortunately, that want everything. It's their way or the highway. And there's little regard for many of the other members. That we represent a very diverse group across the country, all right? We have people across the political spectrum, moderates to far-right conservatives. And I'll say that we need to do what we believe is the best thing for our constituents. And at the end of the day, we're willing to negotiate certainly on how that's accomplished. And overall, let's be honest, 90% of the time, we agree. We agree on the big picture issues. Needing to secure the border, needing to ramp up domestic energy production, needing to get the economy back on track, extending President Trump's tax cuts. We agree on all that. The question is in the details. How do we get the consensus to pass these pieces of legislation forward? And that requires negotiation. And like I said, not just within our conference, but eventually with the Democrats too, because you need those votes in the Senate.
You said one thing in passing. I don't want to let it just slip by. You said you think that Mike Johnson may be the only one who can piece together the votes needed to become the Speaker of the House. You can't squint and think of any other member, any other Republican member who could maybe win?
Well, there could be other members, but then I think you risk the ability of them being able to do the job. I think with Mike Johnson, the issue was that he was the first person that emerged after we went through multiple candidates who had not offended anyone. Everyone actually likes the guy. He's a nice guy. He's a good person, family person, has very good values, respects our Constitution, and so no one had an issue with him. Everyone else, everybody seemed to have an issue with. And if you elect somebody, for example, from the Freedom Caucus, and the moderates are upset. If you elect someone who's too moderate, then the far-right conservatives are too upset. So Mike Johnson was the first person after multiple candidates that has actually able to unite everyone. And I think we should not, try to fix what's not broken. Let's just give him constructive criticism. Let's give him our ideas on how we can do things better. I certainly have. And he's willing to implement these things for the betterment of the whole Congress. It's when you're looking for these personal things, You know, you're looking for a chairmanship, or you're looking to try to leverage him for your own personal gain, that it's not in the best interest of the institution or the country.
All right, Representative Nicole Malliotakis from Staten Island. It's great to see you. Get some sleep tonight. I think you might be in for a long day tomorrow.
Thank you.